of wondering where they're going to go with this because, again, the Mars is another one of those heroes that I feel like Nigma.SEA would be totally happy to pick up here
Radiant team
because it
pick.
provides you with that little bit of
Void
extra
incarnate.
abilities that go through the Shadow Realm, both with the God's Rebuke, with the Spear. It's all that area damage is pretty damn strong.
I'm
I
pretty
suppose.
sure you just go for Alacrity's hero right now. Don't you just go for a lane counter the Void? Because if you leave it too late, like
10
Ember's already
seconds
gone,
remaining.
Void Spirit's picked up, Alacrity's really powerful in a lot of the Spirit
5
heroes, and
seconds
yeah, there
remaining.
could be the potential Storm now to come out with a 1-to-1 matchup that's good in the lane, and there's not a lot of stuns in general for AG. I just
They
like to
haven't
see
banned
them.
his puck either.
Yeah,
they haven't
that's
banned
very true.
Alacrity puck.
Very
That's
true.
always a
And
bit of
that-
a concern.
And that's why I'm like, do they just pick his hero now on the 18th and save
Dire
Mizu's to
team
last? Because if you
back.
don't, a lot of his
Admiral
heroes will start to
Conker.
get banned out. And there we go. Conker will be picked up. We haven't seen it flex to Mizu in the off lane. So more than likely it will be the position 2 Conker here. So a lot of area control and just team fight overall for Nigma.SEA at the moment.
10 seconds
Yeah,
remaining.
particularly against the Void Spirit, right? Like, even in the laning stage, Void Spirit doesn't have the
5
greatest amount of
seconds
armor. It's
remaining.
just a little bit over 2 that you start out with. So you're going to get a lot of harass going on with the use of the Tidebringer. And again, it just enables a
Radiant
lot.
team
Like,
back.
not quite as much as the Mars in terms of, like, area denial, but there's so much repositioning potential coming through from this Kunkka that, and as well, like a great frontline presence that just allows the Luna to really just
Dire
stand
team
there
back.
and freely hit. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with this Kunkka pick overall. The way that I like Nigma.SEA to do it most is when they pick it like where they picked the Luna, and you've got that flexibility still there for In Your Dreams hero potentially. But I'm still happy with it for Alacrity, given that the Void Spirit
10
was picked up.
seconds remaining.
Well, what are you looking to combine?
5
Well, we're
seconds
actually
remaining.
looking for Army Genius's hero next here. So I guess with their 23rd pick, Dusa, a banned out in response to the Razor, just a real hard anti-carry, which is what they're kind of looking for Army Genius, is that win condition hero that's going to be able to take you over the edge. It feels like they need a lot of boxes ticked at the moment. Tower sieging, win condition, maybe some team fight. They're lacking stuns. Like the list can go on and on. They're not going to get
Durability
everything
as
yeah.
well. On
So
top
like,
of that, I keep saying the Sven, like something that's going to be able to burst through a lot of these heroes before they
Radiant
get
team
their
back.
safeties off, right? Like the Kunkka, if you get the Coco Rum onto him, then he's obviously a lot tankier. But if you just crit him down to be able to start a fight, that's pretty damn effective. And also the Warcry going to be
team
very
pick.
effective against the Kunkka and the Luna. You've also got that siege potential as well. And I was thinking, like, maybe that's why they're banning this this Razor and the OD, right? Heroes that Sven can't really do too much about in the laning stage.
10 seconds remaining.
Don't hate the Wraith King ban. I mean, that was probably a more viable option.
5
And again, it
seconds
is that
remaining.
same burst potential and much more consistently, right? You don't need to play around the God strength just being incredibly strong on its own. But you're kind of drafted into a little bit of a corner here with Army Geniuses. Like you said, they need to accomplish so much with this last pick, and there aren't really the heroes left to do it in the pool.
Radiant team pick.
Life Stealer.
okay.
I don't know if it's enough.
You got some pretty nice Infest Bomb targets with the Void Pango. It's a lot of magic damage on Nigma.SEA. Like, it's actually a ridiculous
10
amount
seconds
of magic.
remaining.
It's you also don't see your
5
offlane
seconds
matchup,
remaining.
and Lifesteal is going to do pretty well in a majority of them. Like, there's
Couldn't they just, like... It goes back and forth, but, like, Tidehunter isn't terrible here. You know?
I think you
like,
need BKB Pierce.
yeah, you do, but, like, what's left?
Mag, you could. I don't know if we don't really see Axe anymore, but we saw one game where it popped off. I don't think it's a consideration. There's the BKB Pierce. I like it a lot. It's into a save. I think any save versus the Raw, because of the long duration and kind of high being an ultimate, is a bit annoying. But you're going to have more than likely Polison to fulfill that role to jump the Bane, but it gives you, like, look at the group up potential from Nigma Galaxy.SEA. Like, it's going to be so hard to kill them off. You got Conquer to buff you up. Polison's probably going to build drums. Mizu is going to have Helm of the Overlord at some stage, plus the Inner Beast, and you've got a Luna as well. They are going to come online super fast on Nigma Galaxy.SEA, and they have an incredible team fighting lineup as well. So the margin of error for Army Geniuses is very, very low.
Honestly, like 15 minutes in,
10
you could very
seconds
easily be
remaining.
taking tier 2 towers on Nigma
yeah.
Galaxy.SEA if they win a team fight, right? Like with
5
all of those
seconds
aura
remaining.
buffs, even just a Snapfire with a single point in the little shredder, you don't even need it for the kill potential in the laning stage. You might even look to use the boars as a little bit of an extra kill threat, right? With the Fire Snap cookie, just to be able to combine that together. But I'm probably going to go with Nigma Galaxy.SEA here overall. It is quite dependent on Polison, though. Like you were mentioning before, Varese, his Bane is pretty damn good. So as long as his positioning is effective, he's able to, hide himself in the tree line or directly behind a lot of these other heroes. You really do need to land that hookshot onto the Bane in order to have a successful team fight for Nigma Galaxy.SEA. You'll have a lot of information, of course, with the boar and the rocket. With the hawk and the rocket flare, but you still got to execute it. But I feel like Polison's got the goods.
Yeah, I've been a big fan of his clockwork overall, and I've liked the innovative build that he's been going for. I feel like we're going to see it this game as well with the drums that we were speaking about earlier on. But I just feel like Nigma Galaxy.SEA just looks like a lineup that's a little bit easier to execute, and I think they tick off a lot more boxes than what Army Geniuses do. But Game 1 set in stone here with our drafts. Keep in mind, guys, it's going to be the last series as well before the break. So all these teams are really looking to... You want to go into the break with some momentum. Of course, Army Geniuses 1 and 3 at the moment on the ladder. So they are... If they could honestly finish 2 and 3, it's going to give them a nice little boost heading into that last little
Prepare
run
for battle.
towards the last couple of weeks. And well, for Nigma Galaxy.SEA, they're really looking to continue on hot as well. Second position, tied with Ragdoll, and if they can take this victory, then they'll be 4-0 and in prime position to take one of those qualification spots. So a lot is still on the line here from either team. A potential qualification for Nigma Galaxy.SEA and for Army Geniuses just to still stick around in Division 2 for next year. But we're both on the Nigma Galaxy.SEA train at the moment.
I am, yeah. And, Lacrity was able to get that nice and early Observer Ward. He sees that the smoke ran out there with Varese standing nearby. Hasn't completely revealed where the Dire Observer Ward might be. I mean, the other thing about this Nigma Galaxy.SEA draft as well, it's pretty damn hard to kill. Like, outside of the Luna early on, you got 4 strength heroes, and it's really only the Lifestealer that's going to be right-clicking you consistently. Like, maybe Wommy eventually, but, like, strength heroes... If you're just having to worry about magic damage, you're going to have pretty good strength gain. You're going to be pretty tanky. So it's just another difficulty that they're going to have, being quite the magic-oriented lineup themselves on Army Geniuses.
What do we have to look out though for Army Geniuses in regards to how they can
The battle
find
begins.
that avenue to take this game? What is that one hero we have to pay attention to, or even that one lane as well that has to go right?
I would say, like, if Azura is able to come out even in this mid lane, you'd be very, very happy with that. Top side, I mean, you picked this Lifestealer towards the very end of the draft, right? So they were obviously feeling quite confident in having something that was able to lane together with this Bane to potentially get some kills, but it's going to be so hard killing the boars. So I want to see a little bit of emphasis being given through to that by both Varese and DB. Bottom side, I mean, Wommy's going into the Urn of Shadows first. I'm not really sure how confident I feel about that. I think he needs to be playing a little bit more of the tankier style. So I'm honestly not feeling all that optimistic about how he is overall, to be honest.
Same. I don't... Like, if this is a Spirit Vessel pickup, which we saw GY do in both those Ragdoll games that he played the Pangolier, and it was just really cool to see, like, that poke from afar. You pop the Spirit Vessel out, a swashbuckle, and maybe some extra damage from someone else from afar, and all of a sudden you're down to half health. And you did just highlight that Nigma Galaxy.SEA, they are going to be very tanky with these strength heroes, but that's if Wommy commits into it. And you've got a pretty natural Urn/Vessel builder anyway with the Dark Willow, so it is a bit interesting that Wommy is opting for this route this game.
Yeah, for sure. I want to see Like, in an ideal scenario, I probably want to see Wami either going very tanky or just building to shove waves somehow. Like, against a Luna and a Kunky, you don't really want to go super late anyway. But like I said before, I feel like it could get to that 15-minute mark and you've already lost a couple of tier 2 towers.
He needs to shove lanes. You're 100% right. You've got a Bane and a Dark Willow. These are two supports that don't push lanes. And you've got a Lifestealer as well, who's, you know, this is not this Maelstrom build. You can't shove up lanes at a fast rate. So it's going to be all in the Void Spirit, where we could see him consider a Boots of Travel just to help deal with some of the side lane mess that will occur. And, well, Azura currently has the Phase Boots queued up, which is, you know, we'll see how that's going to pay off. But yeah, I definitely feel like you're right on the mark there with the Pango needing some way to push out the side lanes.
I wonder if these phase boots is just because he feels like he's going to get completely bodied out of this mid lane otherwise. Like, it wouldn't surprise me to see him even get the chainmail component of it first.
Don't you just go Ring of Protection then? Like, I feel like that's fine. You're close enough to the tower. Quite often it's going to be shoved in. You'll get a little bit of extra. You've got a lot more mobility than the Conqueror as well, so you should have the water runes and eventual power runes to play with too. So I'm kind of intrigued that, like, if you're going off that, you could have probably just gone Ring of Protection and then you're into the bots if that was needed.
Azura feels a little bit differently. He's doing an alright job in this mid lane. Of course, it's going to get more and more difficult with each of those power spikes at the odd levels for the Kunkka. Just getting that extra point in the Tidebringer, very effective. And now he's even got the X marks the spot. So he's going to use it for a little bit of more harass potential against Azura, but you can still just look to TP back to base. Good sidestep there from Azura. Denying away the bounty rune alacrity. That's the benefit of this Kunkka, right? You shove out the lanes, you either take some small camps or you take the enemy's resources as well. And you can just see here, like, look at what Azura have to do. He's already ferrying out a salve for himself, despite the fact that he did end up getting that bottom water rune. So, not ideal. It's a lot of empty net worth, you know? And when you really do need to be progressing.
Azura? See, like you're saying, once he does start to find those extra levels in the Tidebringer alacrity, it's going to be a nuisance. How's top looking at the moment, though, for DB and Mizu combined? Looks like the Lifestealers have a little bit better of the timing here at the moment, 20-3 compared to the 14-0. So DB, a pretty solid start. Do you feel like this is ever going to change, or it should still be a good lane for the Lifestealer to find his farm?
I think it should be pretty good for the Lifestealer. It's going to get even easier, right? Once he picks up those phase boots, you're not really quite as worried about the boards. He's done a good job of killing a few of them already. And there's even just the gap close coming through from the Bane, right? You just toss the Nightmare onto someone. Sure, you can break it, the Nightmare, with the boars, but I don't know, it always just feels a little bit awkward to always seem to have that outnumber in the lane.
I do like that Varese came out to the lane with a sentry, like already preemptively looking to try and take care of the Hawks because of the ridiculous amount of gold and experience it also gives you. But a little bit of contention going on, just a back and forth of abilities being chucked out from either side. Looking to see who can, you know, dwindle the resources early as, you know, Polison's completely out, so you might look to leave the lane solo at the moment for In Your Dream, who doesn't have the greatest positioning with the creep equilibrium.
He doesn't mind being up that deep, though, right? You're against a Pangolier. He doesn't have any points in the lucky shot, and he's just going to be trying to harass with the shield crash, but with that early infused raindrops, he's going to be taking 0 damage from it.
You didn't want that.
Well, where do we feel like this First Blood might eventually come out here? Is it going to be off the back of some rotations from the position 2s to the side lanes, or is there a level timing that's soon to be picked up from maybe the 3s or 4s that can help hinder the, you know, the safe lane heroes, so to say?
I was about to say maybe they might have tried for a play around this siege creep timings, but no, DB and Varese have kept this lane on the top side quite well defended, so it's right underneath that tower. So even with the Inner Beast Aura, you're not going to be able to do too much tower harass. So nicely done there for Army Geniuses. Mid lane, Alacrity still having a good start to it all. Although, we could look to see things change a little bit. He's just way too tanky, though. You can't kill him at this stage.
Almost 1100 health. Oh, Azura? That's a regen. You'd love to pick that. Oh my god. Dude,
Hello, God.
I'm surprised he doubled back. At least he's got a bounty and a clarity, but man, you would have loved to have that regen. And the amount
Especially
of
considering he used the Astral Step charge for it as well, right? So you didn't get the value. It sucks, but sometimes that just happens when you're coming up against good teams.
Yeah, always the
Radiant's top
emphasis
tower
on
is under attack.
looking to make a move over, because when you don't have a kill this early on, a power rune can definitely help just find that little X factor to find that first blood. As you see, kind of once again, resources looking to be depleted.
Dire's
Mizu's
top tower is under
now
attack.
close to level 60s at the moment. It's about 5 1/3, so really we're not going to see a potential kill with the raw. Really think it's going to come off the back of these position 2s.
He tried to go for a little bit of a cheeky play there, Alacrity, guessing where the Dissimulate was going to land, but 7 minutes in, no kills. Kind of surprising, but it just really shows how much these games mean
No,
to
we
each
might
other.
have
We
it
might
finally.
see it.
Yeah, Alacrity's looking to connect.
Nope.
Lim's got a lot of health back, though, from the salve, so...
I think you're very
Alacrity-
happy to just take the stack away, though.
Conquer being level 7. See that farm's going to continue to skyrocket. Already top net worth at the moment here. They are starting to converge on the area. Wami, Rolling Thunder is available. Azura needs to cut off the stairwell. He's going to be able to do so, but it has given Alacrity enough time to pop the ultimate. Now with the run buff, is this going to be enough to keep him live? Yo, Cam, no level actually in the cookie. Still Alacrity somehow turns with the fairy fight, gets a little bit of extra
Calls it
distance
again.
thanks to the cogs, and he gets denied. Out of all things, Alacrity denied by the creep, and Polison is making play after play in this early game. It will still be Army Geniuses nonetheless, though, to turn it back around as they find 2 kills mid.
Wonderful dragon toad.
A little surprising that he didn't have a single point in the Fire Snap cookie just yet. That would have been a very easy save onto the Conquer and just get him up onto that high ground there, but didn't
Radiant's top
eventuate.
tower
Still
is
get the
under
first blood
attack.
though, but it's only the position 5 Clockwork that got it, so I would feel like Army Geniuses, with the 3 kills coming back in return,
This
they're going to be
one
pretty
was
happy with how that all shaped out. We go for a Raw here on the top side. I mean, DB, he's level 7.
Yeah, they're gonna go for it now. After the rage is used, DB's just got one little skelly. I mean, it's not gonna be too much health. And wait, Mizu? Oh no, he took over the skelly. DB's now forced to pop out. He's gonna actually run to the west instead of towards Varese, but DB rage is still back up and available here, and he's out to safety. Very nicely done.
That was a cheeky little play there by Mizu, just using the Helm of the Dominator on the creep, but well, not going to be enough to secure the kill. And I feel like DB's been playing this top lane pretty damn well. Obviously consistently farming. He's keeping up with the Luna on net worth. Jokem, he's spotted out a little bit, and Paulson TPs towards the bottom side to make sure he's soaking up a lot of that experience. Any stacks being built up for Nigma Galaxy.SEA so far? Oh yeah, there's a decent one inside the triangle. Either Alacrity or In Your Dream could have very happily taken it.
Varese might have our second kill of the game here for Nigma Galaxy.SEA. Alacrity, he'll crash the boat down on top of the Bane, and Alacrity loves to see it. Simultaneously bottom, it's going to be Wami and Azura combining together. I need a favor of you, my good sir. So I accidentally forgot to change my HUD and my what I think is weather effect from the new pack. I thought I turned the weather effect off, but apparently it's not. Do you know where the new if it is weather effect, or are you able to double check in the settings for me so I don't have to keep going in and out?
I can look. Just give me a moment.
Yeah, that's all good. And you just see is, I mean, you were highlighting before the potential stacks. Nigma Galaxy.SEA, they do have 3 at the moment at the Ancients, and Luna's gone for the 1-3-4 build. I think Mask and Man is now being delivered, so now that they've been able to take the top tower, this will completely open up this side of the map for In Your Dream. I am intrigued to see where Mizu's going to start to posture, though, because this is a hero that does like to control the enemy safe lane for as long as possible, even after you take that tier 1.
All right, I found it. So
Okay, dope.
press the shield and sword, then go Aghadim's Labyrinth 2021, and it's under Other. The shader effect.
Thank you.
Dire's
Unequip.
top
All right,
tower
I'll
is under
DC.
attack.
I was looking in weather effect and wasn't working. Oh, perfect timing,
perfect.
Paulo. All right, you're going to have to narrate if a kill comes out, but
It was an accidental pause actually as well. So maybe that was the Christmas present that they were looking to give through to you, just to give you that little bit of extra
Alright, we're
time
back,
to be
we're
able
back.
to get back into the
Dire's
game.
top
We're
tower
resumed.
is
The
under
pushing
attack.
comes down towards the bottom side of the map, and well, even though it's a 2k net worth lead for Nigma.SEA, I kind of feel like they were probably hoping for a
Dire's
little bit
middle
more at this
tower
stage. It
has
is still an
fallen.
11-minute mid tower, but the fact that you're getting a trade here on the bottom side, I feel like you're reasonably happy with that with Army Geniuses, considering how
Radiant's
relatively
bottom tower
lacking
has
in tower
fallen.
push their lineup is.
This is not going to be the same thing that happened last time to Polisson when he was in this little nook. Do you remember? He was hiding down here, soaking up experience, and he ran out to the lane ward and he died instantly. This time he'll TP out to the tier 2 tower.
So he learns, you know, it's all about a learning experience. It's never a
Well-
feed, it's just an opportunity to learn.
Well, now, I mean, that's twice. If the enemy team is watching this replay, or if this could be a little tendency that they, see if you verse Polisson, he's more than likely going to be soaking that experience. Where is he going to be on Radiant? In that little spot. Free kill.
Just trying to be a little bit cheeky down here next to DB as well, soaking up a lot of that experience,
Radiant's
nearly
Top
reaching his
lane.
level 6.
Azure and Wami. Oh, the Centaur Conqueror. It's going to make it a little bit annoying. Mizu now gets an opportunity to pop the Roar and TP out. Beautiful micro with the Centaur Kree. Well played, Mizu.
He always just seems to do things that a lot of other players can't, right? Like, it's all about that micro. That's what I'm most impressed about, the things that I'm just not able to do. Give me one unit. That's all I can control.
He's always had that micro capability, though. The filthy Naga player.
Dire's middle
Could he
tower
play the
is under
Meepo?
attack.
Is that...
A little bit.
Yeah. Oh, not to the higher levels, but even if you're playing the Meepo, you're getting... you're at the stages where you're filthy and you don't really want to be versed in them. When you come across a Meepo spammer in pubs, man, it's not fun at all. As Polo... Oh, they'll look for a freebie on the Dark Wheel. It really seems like Army Geniuses aren't at a stage where they can take these fights when Nigma.SEA decide to take them. They're not bringing the numbers to set up for maybe the reinforcements. They're happy with just taking fights on their own accord.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, Army Geniuses, right? You mentioned that the Spirit Vessel is nice, especially against the 4 strength heroes, but it does not enable you to farm at all. Like, everything is going to need to go over to this Lifestealer. You're not going to farm as quickly as a Luna is, hell, even a Kunkka. And so I feel like you need to be getting a little bit more active now that you have finished up this first key item for Wami, especially considering Rolling Thunder's available, and they just used the hook shot, they just used the Raw previously as well. So, well, clearly they're thinking that they need to wait for something a little bit more, but I feel like Nigma.SEA are going to be totally happy with that. And, well, 14 minutes. They're looking to roll through.
Your admiral is on board.
Alacrity. Oh, he gets the Fiend's Grip off onto him.
Yeah, they found the Fiend's Grip from afar, Varese. There's no way to cancel this. Is in your dream. Just going to look to escape with whatever he can. Although Beastmaster's actually committed back into the middle here, so Nigma.SEA giving a bit of an opportunity for Army Geniuses to cut this deficit.
All right. It's the move that they should have been making, but maybe they were just a little bit too disconnected there. Some good use of the Fire Snap cookie to get Alacrity down from the high ground, but some even better positioning from Varese to be able to punish that. I suppose the one thing is that Army Geniuses, they know that Nigma.SEA have this pushing lineup. They know that they've got the potential to take towers super quickly and open up that Roshan potential. So you can kind of set yourself up in the area. I mean, just have a look at the Sentry Wards. They're in the most obvious spot for Nigma.SEA, but they just put theirs a little bit less likely right underneath the Dire Outpost. And it just provides them all the information that they need to be able to, react accordingly.
Lim.
Bounty.
But it is a smoke for a kill on a support. They even dropped the Mortimer Kisses as well, so maybe Radiant, they're just happy with getting the kill because now it does open up the jungle for In Your Dream. And well,
Scanning.
if they can bring it back to Roshan, it is already scouted out though from Army Geniuses, so they're well aware this is occurring. It's going
A lot
down
of
pretty
damage though.
fast.
Yeah, I mean, that Lunar Blessing is insane. In a Beast Aura, Medallion of Courage, Little Shredder. It's just so much that you have to deal with. And, well, they're kind of grouping around together a little bit here on Army Geniuses, but if you do it underneath the creep wave, it kind of reveals what you're going to be doing. No team worth their salt is going to group up under vision unless they're very clearly going for a move shortly.
Have you seen Snap's item build as well? Big fan, big fan.
Oh, okay. Going straight into it. I mean, that is the one thing, like I said before, right? If Paulson doesn't land the hook onto the Bane, team fights become a lot more difficult. So if you go this like pseudo initiation, then yeah, that'll be just exactly what you need.
Mizu might be the target of the smoke unless he TP's out at the moment, but he's actually going to run closer and closer to the invised up army geniuses. This is going to be a 4-man rotation here to bring down the position 3.
He's doing a good job to push constantly though. We'll be careful to try and not give up his creeps there, but it does force them to stay up on this top side. And again, in your dream, he's able to move on forward. He's feeling pretty damn confident right now with the Aegis picked up. Another 4 minutes remaining on it.
Are you surprised with how farm DB is? Like, this is a hero that, again, doesn't have like a Maelstrom, and you're up against a Luna who has her own steroid with the 2 passives.
I was about to say, oh, that's because he's been part of all these kills, but he's only got the 1 assist. So, yeah, a little bit surprised, to be honest. But, yeah, maybe they were just wanting to go for comfort with that last hero pick overall. Because DB, it is a hero that he picks a fair amount. You're able to get a little bit more active like he tends to try and do with a lot of his heroes. Like, even when Army Geniuses were picking up the Gyrocopter on that position 1 super consistently, he was always looking to team fight with the rest of his team. And I feel like that's what he's going to look to do as soon as he picks up this SNY.
Which he does now have available. And again, they've got some very, very strong Infest Bomb. And they also have a Blink now as well with a Pangolier. So another way for them to be able to start these fights. Eyes on the angle into it, however, because you are still fighting into the Aegis advantage on the side of Radiant. In your dream has this for another 2 minutes and 50 seconds. Paulson is also setting up down for bottom. Instantly observe ward's going to get taken care of.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Well, they eventually do pop the glyph. I was kind of considering that they might have used an offensive glyph there, considering they were pushing underneath the tier 2 tower, but they should still be able to get it. Creep wave coming in now. Will it be a trade though? That's the big question. I mean, the Galaxy have the potential to be able to rotate back if they want to. But of course, they've just got such fast pushing that you might even force Army Geniuses to come back if you go for a second lane fleur.
And it's hard for a Beastmaster to TP down as well. Like, you're going to lose all your boars, you're going to lose your controlled creep as well.
That's why he's just pushing.
Yeah. Well, Void Spirit actually, he started to TP back, but he's going to stick around because he saw In Your Dream show up. They've got the initial hook shot, but the Fiend script's out. They're going to look to blow up the clockwork at the start, but In Your Dream charging up the ultimate. It'll push back the rest of Army Geniuses, but now DB still popping out straight at the nick of time thanks to the Terrorize. It'll give them opportunity to be able to blow up Mizu, but Alacrity's the big issue with the double damager and the BKB. He's going to push the Lifestealer back to his high ground. He's able to dodge the torrent. Alacrity's trying to find a target for the Tidebringer. There's no extra creeps to bounce off to, so DB's out to safety.
That SNY turning him into the race car, just able to get away in time, and well, some okay damage being put onto the tier 3 tower, but a pretty good retreat coming through from Army Geniuses overall. My main concern is, like, what's this actually leading to, right? Like, it doesn't feel like this Lifestealer can be the one that just, you know, mans up and 1v5s everyone, because, you know, you've got a lot of right-click damage. You've got a lot of damage that's eventually going to be able to go through this this rage. You're going to be able to consistently look to punish, and it's even going to get worse now that the Helm of the Overlord's nearly completed on Mizu.
How do you feel Lifestealer matches up late game? Because I actually think it's a pretty good Lifestealer game mid lane. Fuel's timing, bit off the mark.
But you've got a Luna, you've got a Kunkka. Like, they're just going to be able to deal a ton of damage super quickly. Eventually, Luna's going to get tanky enough so that you're not really going to care that you're going up against this Lifestealer. Again, agility hero, right? So the armor effect is going to really come into the equation. And again, they've got 2 BKB piercing stuns as well with the Primal Roar and the hookshot.
With the net worth that DB has at the moment, though, I continue to see them to look to take these fights, but it's actually Radiant smoking up as Polison's going to start. That's the ideal target. Straight on top of the Breeze, trying to take out the Nightmare factor of the save, which they'll do so successfully. Lim's going to give them an opportunity to get out of the area. But unfortunately, with the cookie on forward, great timing with the blink. So Lim, yep, he's out to safety. No stragglers sticking around. In fact, the Zero, he's actually going to run back in forward. Beams out the first time. They even got the buyback, so it looks like Army Genius is looking to take the fight with the recognition that the Aegis has been taken care of. But now with the Fiend Script off to the side, they have no damage going through thanks to In Your Dream popping the BKB at the nick of the timing. And now DB needs assistance. The X back to his demise. Now it's all Nigma.SEA through this team fight. We're looking to see who they can catch up for more as well. But the initial jump afterwards, it's a bit lacking. Hook shots already been used. And they don't have that Aghanims just yet. But nonetheless, definitely a victorious fight for Nigma.SEA.
And that was really the first super convincing one for them, right? Like every other one, it's been like a pick-off, and when these team fights have actually happened, it tends to be a little bit more in Army Genius's favor. But you just saw the difference, right? Clockwork able to hookshot the Bane, even if he got close to dying towards the end of it, it doesn't really matter, right? Because that's the big part of their team fight control that they have. They have no ways to go through that BKB if the Bane is dead. Forced him to buy back, got the kill again just because you are quite squishy. And Paulson was even able to get the first use of, the second use of the Drum of Endurance as well.
Red Spirit might be in trouble. Blackheart, he's already used Torrent though. Zero's gonna be okay. This is giving a lot of farm to Yokam too. Already 2 components of the Aghanims completed. He's also got the Philosopher's Stone as well, so he will definitely find a lot of farm here at this stage. And I mean, that Aghanim is just going to be huge. Just another way to potentially get in to the midst of it all. But however, it's going to be the target of the onslaught here between Wommy and Lim. It's got multiple walls to bounce back on. You still see how goddamn tanky a Snapfire can be. I mean, level 12, almost 2,000 health with all the items that he's gone for.
They're desperately trying to take this tier 2 tower. It's sitting on just the 71 HP. Not going to be able to do it though, and Varese should have scouted out Paulson looking to TP in here to try and defend it. But, well, it's small objectives that's been completed for them, but you just see the difference that one good team fight makes for Nigma.SEA, right? Previously, DB's lifesteal was only about 500, 1,000 net worth behind, but it's converted to about 3,000 because of one team fight, and it was only one kill that the Luna was actually able to secure in that fight. Everything else was assist gold.
And now that's Butterfly completed as well, so that is just going to be a lot of damage mitigated from DB. You pretty much just have to avoid the Lunar at all costs through these fights, but I mean, doing that is going to cost you dearly. You have so much AoE damage, you're just going to be such a menace throughout these middle of the fights where it's really going to cost you if you avoid him.
Obviously, you can use the Ancient Thunderhide as well, just for itself, for its pushing power, but, you know, very effective to be able to pop onto a Lunar as well. I think Izu's even got the Blink Dagger gold completed as well, so if you wanted to try and join in and get that super deep engagement, going to have the potential to do it, right? You've already got the Rocket Flare to give vision, you've got the Hawk as well, very close for Yokam again to being able to pick up that Aghanim Scepter. So one of the small weaknesses that I did see in the Nigma.SEA draft, it's nearly been resolved as soon as you pick up this Blink Dagger and Ags on Snapfire.
Yeah, now they're going to have multiple ways in, so who do they look to target? We've already spoken about the Bane, but who do you feel like is the second most important component to the Army Geniuses lineup?
Probably the Pango. It just provides so much control. In an ideal world, you just don't want to pop your BKB until the Void Spirit commits.
He's going to charge a Rolling Thunder, but it's daytime, so in your dreams, plenty of time to find that recognition and reposition himself. Wami's still going to look to jump on forward. He's got the Aghanim Shard to play around with, so the extra chunk control's not enough, however, to burst down In Your Dream, who still pops a BKB, so all things considering, yeah, I feel like you're actually somewhat okay with that, because that could have been a huge wasted Rolling Thunder, but you at least get something out of it.
I thought Mizu was going to roar him. Like, he came right up next to him. You had great vision with the Hawk there as well. I think the shield crash only hit onto one, so he wasn't reducing a ton of damage either. And everyone was in position to heavily punish that Pango. So, a little bit surprising that they just waited back and still used that BKB charge. I wonder if that'll affect this tier 1 tower defense, or if they're just going to go for a bit of a rat play. Seems like they're feeling pretty confident about it, right? 5 heroes, Lunar Blessing, Inner Beast Aura.
Yeah, why not? I mean, you're going to have the little Shredder as well to work around with, but instantly die. Look to Glyph. Kind of thwart the attempt at the moment from Nigma.SEA, so it does cost them their tier 1 mid, which is Always nice to keep a holder for as long as possible, especially just for that TP location as the game goes on.
Roche is up. And
boy.
I believe that's Blink Dagger available for Alacrity as well. He just got the gold for it.
A blink? Interesting.
Like, you're very tanky, right? And you've got great movement speed, especially with the Quicksilver Amulet on top of everything. You've also got, of course, the Swiftness Aura coming through from the drums. So I feel like it's just going to enable him to get in onto the backlines.
Might be a little bit too late, though. They're going to try and find an angle in, but Wommy doesn't get there fast enough as the A just going to be picked up from In Your Dream, and there we go, instantly. The Roar as well afterwards just allow the Luna to stand her ground. The Academ shot is still on the deck, so DB's going to be able to pick that up, but somehow Wommy is out to safety. And all things considering, that is a huge victory. You kill the Conquer, a buyback forced out from Polison, and DB gets the Academ shot.
That's really effective this game. I mean, he's going to give it over to Azura. I really want DB to have this. Like, open wounds, considering it's 2% of the target's max HP dealt per attack, is pretty nutty when you're coming up against 4 strength heroes. So I can understand, obviously, wanting it for the backline, just for that extra little bit of increased damage, to be able to get in onto the Snapfire as well, just to be able to try and quickly burst her down. But I don't know, I feel like it's a big opportunity wasted to allow this Snapfire to really be that end game carry beast that I feel like he really can be.
And now top lane, gobble up. Look how much damage that just does, and Paulson is gonna make sure there's no attempt of a swashbuckle to get some extra distance. How much damage is this gobble up already? Is it just a Mortimer glob?
Yeah, just one.
Okay. Looked like it was so much more. It's huge that the lifesteal's got MKB now, because I was speaking before that I think that butterfly pickup from the Luna is really going to minimize a lot of the damage from DB, and that's was at that stage, you know, their highest net worth hero by a long shot. But now that team fight, and yeah, they're actually going high ground already.
It's a big deal, right? Like, no Rolling Thunder for 15 seconds. You've still got this Aegis. I think In Your Dream, there shouldn't really be anything stopping him from just standing on the front lines and pushing towers. Like, the fact that you're not doing this with a Pango on the deck feels like you've kind of wasted about 5 or so seconds.
Azura. Instant use of the Eulers to be able to purge off, but the timing needs to be perfect from Alacrity, but an even better Nightmare. They used a fair bit of spells here. Azura's actually going to jump into the cogs, but at the gobble up from downtown will prevent Army Geniuses from using that little bit of a window they had to jump on forward.
And they killed the dragon as well. Pretty nice. That, you know, just getting a lot of that extra gold, the experience as well, very valuable. And it's just another one of these fights where, unfortunately, we haven't really seen too much impact coming through from that Primal Roar from Mizu. Maybe once he picks up the BKB, he'll feel a lot more confident to be able to dive in super deep, connect that Roar in onto the back lines, and just make the team fight even easier for Paulson.
They do have the Ag Shard, however, from the Beastmaster. So Mizu's going to be able to provide them a lot of information. Not only that, you've got Rocket Flare too, but Army Geniuses looking to smoke up. It's going to be Polison to start the fight with the Mortimer Kisses on the backline. So they're going to look to target down Varese, which they'll kill off successfully, but the consequence is their support in the snap. They've still got to be cautious though as Wommy. He might be under a little bit of assault here. DB's locked on top of the Beastmaster. Mizu hasn't found a target. And now they're going to look to go back in once again with a beautiful Terrorize. It's pushed back to Radiant Cores at the moment. An even better blink out from Lim as well, so the supports on Army Geniuses, giving them a big window back into this game. But unfortunately for Lim, he'll still be cut down before he escapes to his high ground. They're still gonna look to jump instantaneously. If you don't want a BKB on the first life, he's not even gonna think about using Satanic as well. Round 2, ready to rock and roll. Instantly In Your Dream's gonna look to turn around. BKB, Eclipse raining down. They've got the catch on top of the Lifestealer. Void Spirit's gonna be taken care of as well. It's instantly Nigma.SEA. They spring the trap on round 2. They'll penalize Army of Geniuses from over-positioning themselves, and now up the high ground they go from some objective damage. They're not done though. Yeah, Alacrity. I mean, they might be able to, but the Orchid Tick, Alacrity finds it. One more swing of the big cleave and the sword. And that's Wommy down for 50, and now DB's even forced to buy back, but what does a Lifestealer do to stop them from getting objectives?
I mean, I feel like if you're going to buy back, it probably has to happen a little bit sooner than that, right? They already got what they wanted. Mid tower completely
Dire's
gone, and
top
this top tower
tower is
isn't
under
looking pretty
attack.
healthy either. In your dream, might just look to wait for that Black King buy to become available again.
Dire's top
But now
tower
that the
has
tier
been
3's
denied.
removed, it does kind of force them away a little bit, just with the bouncing glaives preventing any kind of aggression coming through. Looks like they're in two minds. They're just back, forth, waiting, it feels like, for the Pango to come online.
Off the mark, they're going to look to try and blow up the Luna as best as possible.
terrorize.
They all group up for a terrorized 5-man, which will give them an opportunity to be able to blow up in your dream. And a Clockwork's the next on the agenda, but they still got to be cautious as Nigma.SEA. They're looking to turn it back around with all their ultimates. But it's not the best spell casting, which is going to prevent them from finding any retribution as Alacrity. He's stuck around for a little bit too long. He's got a BKB, TP up potential as well, but he's got to be cautious. Oh, look at the cleave before he dies. Yes, it'll cost him his life, but at least he's going into the death with the graves. Sorry, with the bones of the Bane.
I don't know. I don't know what they're
Dire's
scared
middle
about,
tower
right?
is
Like, it
under
feels like
attack.
they're doing fine when they're fighting completely as a team. You had a 5v4 situation, maybe just wanting to wait for that BKB, but you just saw the downside of that. I mean, he's died a few times now on Limb, but I'd say he's been, for mine, pretty clearly the best player on Army Geniuses so far. So many great terrorizers able to land out onto key heroes, not only to, obviously save the racks, but protect the rest of his team amazingly.
It felt really weird how they all just ran into the middle. Like, they jumped in your dream, and then the supports from Nigma.SEA was like, let's just group up on him.
God, I love money.
I can understand maybe the Snapfire wanting to gobble up and spit him backwards, but probably not Clockwork. I don't think Clockwork's going to change too much there.
Well, they've cut the lead a decent amount. What was... It's now 8,000. I miss the old graph so much. That's okay. We can only bring it up so much until it just never happens. Tommy? This is going to use the roar, and yeah, it looks like this time with their chain control, Tommy will be brought down. We've seen very few roars. At least they're able to convert on this one with the help of Polison.
And I like that they've identified the key hero that they need to remove from the equation, right? Like, it's going to be Pango every single time. If he's gone, then there's nothing really stopping Paulson from chain locking down this Bane. Like, Variz, he's going into the 4-staff next, obviously wanting to hold his buyback goal, considering how squishy he is if they do get in on top of him. But that's going to be a pretty damn effective item if he's able to pick it up, even having the spider legs as well, right? So he could save himself. 4-staff kind of feels like a save for the rest of the team.
And I like the Force a lot, though. You're playing off the back of the initiation on Nigma.SEA and just holding them in position. You know, the hook shot into the cogs, the roar as well for that long duration to set up for the kisses or set up for the torrent plus boat combination. So Force is really going to disrupt a lot of the chain control that Nigma.SEA are looking to take these fights off the back of as DB.
They might be a little bit
It looked like he
eager.
sends this out. Orchid still, he might have to just hit some neutrals to get a little bit of life back, but he won't have the opportunity. As they blow him up full to 0, and that's the dieback as well, so...
Yeah.
You got tier 2 down bottom, definitely a full set of barracks up top, and instantly Army Geniuses. They're going to look to smoke up. Maybe catch Nigma.SEA off guard before they're able to set up, and that's what they're exactly going to do. Straight on top of the Luna, but a great 4-staff gets her a little bit extra positioning, but still the opportunity for the BKB Satanic is not there. It's a successful defense, a crafty one at that from Army Geniuses. They'll look to turn their attention now to the Clockwork to bring him down, but Alacrity is still a beast in his own regard. Is he going to jump into the middle of it all, trying to deal with Azura? Orchid's out, no dual scepter or BKB capability. Want to buy back from Polson as well. Once again, the hook shot on the mark. Another dieback on a key component in the Void Spirit. They've lost the Luna, of course, so a lot of their sieging potential is taken care of.
Feeling a little rusty today, Nigma.SEA, right? There's not really too much reason for In Your Dream to be up there on his own, but What a great coordination coming through from Army Geniuses. Unfortunately, it was just the weight of all of the buybacks that they had at their disposal, and of course the diebacks previously being expended. I really didn't think DB was going to die previously there as well, right? It was just the clockwork that initiated
Dire's
onto him,
middle tower
and he had
is
time
under
to hit the
attack.
rage, but unfortunately the Orchid came through just too quickly for him to effectively get it off. And well, the downside of that is no buyback. And well, will they at least protect this range Rex? I feel like they probably will. You got to have the siege creeps dealt with though.
That is a huge victory for Dire, because that's 2 diebacks in the lifesteal and the void, and if Luna's alive, that's probably...
Bounty.
That was game.
I mean,
Victory doesn't
I
die.
want to say game, it's at least tier 4s, and potentially they hold for the throne, but that gives you at least some breathing room now to set up for Roche, but unfortunately, it's already up, and Luna's already back alive, so this one looks like it will be going uncontested.
Now the question is, who do we give the Ags to? Probably Kunkka.
Yeah, I think so.
Roshan has fallen to the Radiant.
In your dream, Cheese ages, Aghanim Scepter on the Conquer, so Alacrity playing with the title, Torrent Storm. And what did he go in the talent-wise? Yeah, no Torrent talent, so nothing really to buff him up. At least he's got Arcane in the arsenal here, so that'll be really nice for him. He's spamming throughout the fights.
Step lively now. Your admiral is on board.
If I was a support, I'd be giving him the side eye, considering he hadn't gone for the talents, and be like, "You sure you want to take that Ags? You sure that's not mine?"
I mean, come on, baby, let's see the overclocking. There's definitely argument for it. That double BKB piercing stun, especially for the Void Spirit too.
Double cogs.
Yeah.
Like you could use your 4-star all you want, or your spider legs will just drop another cogs.
And Polison's an exceptional support player. Like, we really see his spell casting seems to always be top notch. And you give him a second round of abilities to play with, like, he will really convert that item into good use.
Dire's bottom tower is under
They're
attack.
just going to look to play the safe game this time around.
Bounty.
There we go. Level 20 as well on Polison. That's actually quite a big deal. Rocket Flare True Sight. So
Dire's
any
bottom
single
tower
time that they
has
want to,
fallen.
they don't have to expend quite so much gold on sentries. They can just use it as a little bit more of a scouting tool. Do they have a Glimmer Cape at the moment on anyone? Doesn't seem like it, but
They pop an
still do
Aeon?
have the Tidebringer that can pop the Aeon disc. Yep.
Yeah, Dire looked to make the identical play as well from what worked top lane. They'd instantly smoked up as soon as the tier 2 tower had fallen to try and catch him off guard, but this time Nigma just not going to brute force up the high ground. They're going to look to take it a little bit more methodically, get all the lanes shoved out, find an angle in where maybe you've got a numbers disadvantage on the setup from Army Geniuses.
It's kind of felt like they've been in one of 2 formations on Nigma.SEA, right? They're either incredibly grouped up, so you're constantly hit by all of the Rolling Thunders, Void Spirits getting great value out of that Aghanim Scepter, you're getting hit by Terrorize, or they're just ways too split apart that they're able to get a key pick-off, because obviously they've played it very well. They're 21k ahead, but this game should be over by now if, you know, perhaps they were just playing a little bit more composed around each other.
You like this, Mizu? He went for the 8th lens.
I don't hate it. I mean,
I think it's just, like, from what I'm looking at it, it's just that the Void Spirit's probably aiming him with the silence, because if you don't jump the... Because you don't really care about clockwork. Snapfire is important if he's using Mortimer Kisses, but apart from that, it's not too much of a concern.
Illusion.
It does have the Aghanim Shard, so maybe that control is something you keep in mind now, but... You know, Mizu's going to look to really play on the outskirts because he doesn't want it, how important that roar is for something like the Rolling Thunder, or if you can catch Azura as he instantly jumps in, or even kiting DB. So I wonder if that's just some consideration he's taken.
I mean, it just gives a little bit of extra range to the Blink Dagger, right? And the 4-star. Just, you know, nice little benefit there. I was kind of thinking, okay, well, maybe he's going to go the Octarine core, considering it's the flat cooldown reduction with the Aghanim Shard for the Call of the Wild Hawk, but standard Mizu can't pass up the Refresher.
He loves this item, doesn't he? There's definitely valid reason why. It's one of the top items at the moment. We see a lot of heroes picking this one up.
Feels like it's go time for Nigma.SEA. How long you got left? 1:15 on the Aegis. Don't have level 25 yet. That would have been the ideal scenario for them, but you do still have these fresh items picked up. You got the Lotus Orb and you've got the Skadi for In Your Dreams. So I think they're trying to see if anyone wants to come forward and try and clear this. Quickly pick them off with a roar. Of course, Mizu just standing there on the back lines, but they're going to just be able to push on forward.
Dire's top barracks
This took.
has fallen.
Imagine if you had a second one. In Your Dream.
Dire's top
Easy
barracks
siege.
are under
Nonetheless, they're making sure this time they don't get grouped up. There's a lot of brambles that he has to run
Dire's
back and
top
forth
barracks
through,
has
but
fallen.
the help of the catapult wave and the ancient black dragon, easily able to find their second full set of barracks.
You just see like they're actually somewhat around him, right? They're there to back him up. They've got the timer on the Aegis, about 30 seconds left. So the smoke comes out, 5-man smoke coming through, but
Well, Wami
Under
makes
any
it
kind of
outside the
visual.
base. They probably won't expect this angle from the Pango. They have to keep in mind how long the Aegis still has. Another beautiful nightmare once again. It's
Good
given an
feeds, Rip.
opportunity here for Missouri to pop the BKB. Now there goes Wami. He's going to have to bounce back and forth on top of the higher gun. It's a beautiful position for the Pango to have an opportunity to control up the
Aegis.
Luna. There needs to be some opportunity to keep In Your
Perfect
Dream alive,
timing.
but look at the timing. Aegis ticks out. They brought him down. 90 seconds on the deck, and now with the rest of Army Geniuses, they're pursuing on for more. Any stragglers, any heroes that have been slow to retreat out. Paulison will sacrifice his life, but unfortunately the Conqueror, he's still stuck around thanks to the help of the Dark Willow control. Too late of a BKB from Alacrity. 3 heroes down. That might make even a 4th as well. Mizu, he's stuck around as well. Another defense from Army Geniuses. The last set of barracks they will continue to hold.
you love to see that sort of timing. Jokeb's been
Wait, what's
pretty
going
damn
on
big.
mid?
He's gone
He
for
just
the
wants a solo
pickups.
kill. He'll find it. I mean, that's Wami's down for 110 seconds, but who's laughing right now? DB's got an ultra. Is he tipping Wami? Or is Wami like, come on, my guy, I'm down for 110
Dire's
seconds?
middle tower is under attack.
I feel like you're pretty happy to give more and more over this lifesteal, right? He's going into the Lincolns next, I suppose, just wanting to avoid getting roared in a lot of these team fights. But yeah, again, backs against the wall. Army Geniuses always seem to be able to find a way just to be able to draw it out that little bit further. That time around, the positioning wasn't even that bad. It was just some really solid timing, cohesion, and making sure. I'm sure that's completely what the voice chats was filled with. Don't kill him yet. 3 seconds, 3 seconds, and well, they timed it to perfection.
It's such an awesome play from them as well. The past 2 victories they've had from their defenses have been off the back of those smoke plays, and that one especially with the Pangoli's positioning. We saw he was able to sneak down from the high ground, posture throughout like the eastern tree line, and it was just an avenue into the fight that they really weren't expecting. Their camera angles were more facing the top of the screen, and it really caught them off guard in a position around the stairwell. That is something you hate to see when you're versing someone like the Pangolier. And he's had a really good game as well from Wami when he has been able to find those rolling thunders and that chain control. Of course, we've seen him gone very aggressive with his build in regards to just the chain control. Got the Aghanim Shard, the Yours, and the Basher as well.
Don't hate the Basher. I mean, it's getting to the stage of the game where any kind of stun that goes through the BKB is going to be incredibly impactful. And also see Varese, even though he's position 5, he's gone kind of greedy himself, going for that Aghanim Scepter. It's going to be nice to be able to, prevent yourself from just getting roared up or get the...
Oh wait, Radiant.
Scanning.
Well, they're all back alive and pushed outside the base here. I know with Wami,
Yep.
Death Timer, they're not going to have that big team fight factor here. Yeah, they've been able to pick up the gem, so now in the hands of Nigma.SEA, they'll get a lot more map control back in their favor.
A little bit odd, but it's a question of are they going to be able to take advantage of it. I want to see what In Your Dream goes for in terms of the talents as well. He's going to go the Eclipse Lucent mini stun, so even once the Bane picks up that Aghanim Scepter, as long as you get off that Eclipse, it's not going to be all that effective.
Alacrity? Okay, they'll force a BKB. Don't you just love when a position 2 like the Conquer, who can be a tempo controlling, very hard to kill position 2, great laner, can make rotations to the side lanes and somehow 45 minutes in be out farming a Luna? Like, what a great hero.
Oh, you love it. You love it, don't you?
Yeah. Wami? Pretty far outside the base. The nighttime advantage, though, from the Lunar Blessing. Wami's a bit disconnected from the rest of the team.
Is under attack.
They are well aware, though, of how everyone is posturing on the map, and this is kind of the downside, though, to Army Geniuses. Making a venture outside the base, you've got to be on point with that time, because if you're not, it's going to start to be very obvious, because top's already shoved in, and soon you're going to have a lot of objectives being damaged.
Going for a bit of a backstep. I think the courier might have revealed, maybe considering it's nighttime, it didn't.
I mean, they got vision. Look at the Hawk.
Dire's
Oh, this is
middle tower
perfect.
is under attack.
Yo, Cam, are you going to gobble anyone up? That's the question.
Yeah, we haven't really seen too many aggressive gobbles.
They're just going to force them back to the base, right? Someone has to defend this, otherwise
Roche
your
is
two more
up.
towers are going to go.
Who got the DD? Okay, Zero bottled it. I mean, Dive got a pretty decent ward around the area. Wami's going to show himself right now, but this is a hero that really can't get bursted. He's going to look to jump out, Policy with the extra chain control as well, but Silver the Pangolin is in trouble. The bottom of Kisses Burn's going to be enough to be able to bring down the first life, but he's going to buy back, looking to rejoin as well. And this Terror Ride's going to give them a bit of an opportunity. They've also been able to catch up Ariz as well, but Azura is going to jump on over the top with the help of the double damage rune. They haven't bursted anyone just yet. They're on top of the snap fire, but the rest of the cause from Nigma.SEA. They're out to the Wisp. They can now reset, but they're underneath the Dire Observer. They've got full control in the area. You've got to be cautious because Wami, inside this vicinity as well, is right by multiple walls. He's going to turn back on the Luna. A nice force stuff doesn't give him any extra positioning. Once again, In Your Dreams in trouble. He's bursted down. Somehow, Army Geniuses continue to find a big kill on the Luna. A lot of buybacks forced down, even In Your Dream. Oh
if
my
Roche
god.
is up, it's worth it. If Roche is up, it's worth it.
Wait, who have they caught out? It's just Paulson, I think, on the buyback to the outpost. And
He fought back previously.
the rest of Radiant, they're looking to finally get in the area to help the clock work. Gobble up off the mark. In fact, Lim, he's jumping in the river. Man, this Dark Willow, such a nuisance, looking to continue to make the plays. They're trying to target down the Conqueror at the moment, but Alacrity's so goddamn beefy. And this is even without the run buff that they now have available. But in a dream, he's A-OK. BKB, Satanic is going to look to turn. They brought down Azura. No buyback on the Void Spirit. Now the Lifesteal's in trouble as well. DP, no rage available. He's gone. The tank ability, thanks to the run buff, is enough for them to sustain the Dire's damage output.
Dire's
Nobody has
ancient is
buyback
under
right now.
attack.
Tire's Ancient under attack, nearly going to go down on its own, so that'll leave Nigma.SEA the opportunity to go back, take that Roshan, at least get In Your Dream that second life there. Got to be too careful about...
Oh, they're going to lose Lim.
Aggressively.
He just wasn't able to retreat fast enough. Goddamn Yokam.
Start plotting. We have
Always
revenge to
hunting.
get.
110 seconds on the deck. It's going to be a 3v5. And, I mean, they're just back to hitting Roche. They're like, all right, we've messed up a couple high ground sieges. Let's secure this one this time.
I wonder if In Your Dream's going to take the axe. Yeah. I think that's the smart choice. He's even going to give himself the refresher shard, just wanting to have that secondary use of the Satanic, of the BKB, hell, even of the Eclipse as well. Now the fact that you can just even look to toss it onto someone like Paulison and have him be the one that deals a lot of the damage for you, I think you're going to be pretty damn satisfied with that.
But you got double raw now, too.
Yeah.
And it's only got a 30-second cooldown. What? How is it that
Are
low?
scanning.
25.
Yeah, I didn't know it was that low from the talent. Well, they gave him a refresher shard. Okay, I like that a lot.
How many does he need?
Oh, I think you only need one to end it. I'm seeing Wami have some exceptional fights, but instantly, Paulison once again, the recognition of who he needs to target, and now this is given a free fight to Alacrity to get rid of the Bane. A 2-on-5, make it a 1-on-5, DB against the world, the G's are dropped, and Nigma.SEA, they made him work for it. My god, those high ground defenses were really crafty from Army Geniuses, but at the end of the day, it's almost going to take them 50 minutes here to take game one from Nigma.SEA.
Probably not as comfortable as they were initially hoping, but you know, considering the other teams that have given up game one in this series against, you know, lineups that they were probably favored against, I feel like you're going to be breathing a bit of a sigh of relief here on Nigma.SEA. But it was kind of the issue that we were talking about, right? Even when they had these great defenses, it always felt like it was on their side of the map. They were always playing a little bit more on the back foot. Did they even venture onto the Radiant side of the map a single time? Like, there was that smoke attempt right at the end when they were underneath Mizu's Hawk. But other than that, I can't really recall all that much.
Yeah, I tell you what, if they did, it was quite a long time ago.
Yeah, no, not really any good way to shove lanes. No real great tower takers. So even if you got an even team fight, most of the time Nigma.SEA were able to defend it somewhat. So good win coming through from them. Probably took a little bit longer than they wanted, and yeah, maybe they were just a little bit rusty for the day. Had some eggnog or something like that. But yep, game one in the books.
Game one in the books. They get into the Christmas spirit like you are as well. Beautiful background, beautiful hat. You see Roshan celebrating as well for Nigma.SEA. They're going to close out this series to head into the Christmas break with a joyous start to the season. You know, we were both kind of tipping our caps to them with how they were able to set themselves up for the draft, but I think still I like what Army Genius was at least able to do to try and fight back in this game. It was a rough one by any stretch. We saw how far behind they were at a pretty early stage in, but it was nice to see them continue fighting to such a long stage and look to pull this one out. But for Nigma.SEA, they're going to be victorious at the end of the day here for game one. But we've still got a second game coming up shortly. We'll see you guys all after the break.